In the name of God, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Question Time on Islam, live from the Ahlebait Studios with your host Naveed Hussain. Viewers, indeed it has been a long time since we've broadcasted a live program from the Ahlebait Studios here in London. Once again, like always, it gives me great pleasure to have our Islamic scholar Syed Musawi with us again tonight. For you viewers who are watching and listening to this program all across the globe, take this opportunity to call in, to text in any questions, any comments, any observations you have, not just about Islam but life in general. Sayyidina, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and all our brothers and sisters, and may Allah grant all of you and all the mu'mineen and mu'minat best of your deen and dunya. We start with the name of Allah and with thanking Allah for His countless bounties, and with best salutations on Allah's most humble servants Muhammad and his holy progeny Ahlebait. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. After the weeks that we were not able to talk to you, we start now with sending our sincere salams and humble salutations to our Imam Al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif. Assalamu alayka ya Sayyidi wa ya Mawlai ya Sahib al-Zaman. Please.
Thank you very much indeed. Sayyidina, on a number of occasions we find throughout the Holy Quran Al-Kareem that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word qul.
Yes.
As we know that this is the word of Allah, this is the word of God, the Quran Al-Kareem, why is it that if God is already addressing the human beings to speak directly, why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using the word qul to say? Please, if you can explain this for clarification purposes.
The prophets and messengers are the people who convey what Allah wants to people. Allah does not speak to people directly. No doubt, Allah has given every human being the instinct knowledge, which is from Allah, inside the heart and brain of every human being. And every human being uses his instinct knowledge gifted to him by Allah to know the main facts of the existence. But Allah, beside the instinct knowledge, has also sent messengers, prophets, to convey to the people the way of life, the details of life. These two, the inner guidance of the instinct knowledge and the outer guidance of the messengers and prophets and infallible imams, are together. So Allah tells the prophet, قُلْ, tell people, as a message from him. In Quran, Allah mentions some questions from people. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عن المحيض means they ask you about the meniscus. They ask you about menstruation. They ask you about many issues. Allah replies the question by telling the Prophet, قُلْ, tell them, هي مواقيت للناس والحج. The meniscus, the moon situation is timings for people and for Hajj. So, قُلْ is the answer from Allah which goes through the Prophet to the people. In one verse in Quran, Allah says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي, if my servants ask you about me, he didn't reply that قُلْ. He said, فَإِنِّي قَرِيب. Verily, I am very near to them. I am very near to them. So, the reason of قُلْ is to convey the message to people through the messenger and the prophet.
Thank you very much indeed. And indeed, say that those who say going directly to God rather than an intermediate is...
This is not something which is straightforward. If the human being can deal with Allah directly, then why did Allah send 124,000 prophets? Why? Allah could have sent to the human beings His message directly, and that never happened. Never happened because Allah knows that people are unable to bear the message of Allah directly to them, especially in the details matters. They will explain it in their own ways. Main issues, Tawheed, prophethood, Day of Judgment, Imamat, the justice of Allah, main issues, Allah put them in the instinct knowledge of everyone. But Allah did not put in the instinct knowledge of everyone the details of religion. How many rak'ats we should pray, and when, and up to when, and what we should wear, and what should be eating or not eating, drinking, not drinking. The details of religion must come through a prophet. So, the matter of going directly to Allah is being misunderstood. Allah Himself did not come to us directly. Yes, He told us that I'm near to you when we seek from Him, when we supplicate, when we ask Him. Yes, Allah told us to ask Him. But Allah ordered us to obey the Prophet. Allah in Quran says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا لِيُطَاعَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. We have not sent any prophet, any messenger, but to be obeyed by order of Allah. مَنْ يُطَعِ الرَّسُولِ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهِ. Any one who obeys the messenger, in fact, he has obeyed Allah. So Allah is ordering every human being to obey the messengers and the prophets, because the messengers and prophets convey the message of Allah to the mankind. About going directly to Allah, This is a sentence which can be misunderstood. Some Wahhabis claim that we don't need to go through the Prophet or the Imam. We should go only directly to Allah. We should not seek any intercession, shafa'at, wasilat from anyone. Allah only. This is a claim which contradicts with Quran. Because in Quran, Allah says, in Quran, that the life of the prophets was full of intercession. Take examples. The Prophet Sulaiman, he needed the throne of Balqis. He did not say, oh Allah, get me the throne of Balqis. No. He said, من يأتيني بعرشها قبل أن يأتوني مسلمين. Who can bring to me the throne of Balqis? So, the Prophet Sulaiman was asking the help of people to get him the throne of Balqis. قال عفريت من الجن. A person from the jinn told him, I can bring to you the throne of Balqis. That time, Balqis was in Yemen, and Sulaiman was in Palestine. قبل أن تقوم من مقامك. Before you leave your place. That was an offer from the jinn. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. A person who had part of the knowledge of the book, who was آصف بن برخية. آصف بن برخية, who was the deputy after Sulaiman. He said, أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك. I can bring the throne of Balqis to you before your eye blinks. فلما رآه, immediately Sulaiman saw the throne in front of him. The person who brought it in less than a second had part of the knowledge of the book. And that is a miracle from Allah. And anyone who was granted the knowledge of the book can achieve things which are extraordinary. People can never achieve. Our infallible Imams from Ahlebait alayhim salam said that Asif bin Barkhia brought the throne of Balqis in less than a second. And he had one letter from 70 letters of, means one part of 70 parts of the knowledge of book. And we, Ahlul Bayt, have the whole knowledge of the book. So, it is a matter of knowledge. Allah gifts His most humble servants knowledge. And that knowledge of the book makes them able to achieve things which are completely out of the reach of usual human beings.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, a question. I've promised myself to give a percentage every month out of my wages or salary in the way of God. Now, which I promised myself. Now, question is, I'm a bit confused to when I say in the way of God, what is classified in the way of God? What can be used in the way of God when I say this?
What is the meaning of spending money in the way of Allah? In the way of Allah is a vast word. And many things can be in the way of Allah. Helping the poor, helping the orphans, helping the widows, helping the ill people who don't have enough to get themselves treated, housing those who have no house, shelters for shelterless, feeding the hungry, clothing those who don't have enough clothes, helping any human being who is in need, making anyone happy in the way of Allah and for the sake of Allah. In fact, we have got hadith that one of the most beloved acts to Allah is making a believer happy. إدخال السرور على قلب المؤمن. Any sort of helping others, anything which helps people. So the way of Allah is very vast in its range. Anything which is good. If you doubt, then take the advice of sincere and pious scholars. Sincere and pious scholars who give you advice away from their benefit. Don't listen to those who try to get benefited from your charity. No. Always try to give the charity away from the benefit of anyone who advises you, not because they are not in need, but in general. Always give in the charity which gives benefit to unknown people, not to expect them to tell you thank you and to give you a moral reward. No. Give it to those who don't know you. Allah knows. And Allah gives you the reward which is millions and millions times more than the reward of people. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, question regarding the correct method of performing wudu. Because sometimes when you see people do wudu, you can see a lot of mistakes are happening, and that's become the norm. So obviously, if the wudu is not correct, namaz, prayer will be invalid. Yeah. So please, if you could share the correct method of performing wudu.
I think we have done that in the past, but no harm to repeat it. Wudu, wuzu. I mean, both are okay. In Arabic, it is wudu. In Urdu, and Persian, and Turkish, and other non-Arabic languages, it is wuzu. Both are same. So wudu or wuzu has got main obligatory acts after you know in your heart that you are performing wuzu for the sake of Allah. You first wash your face from the beginning of the hair, here, means top of the forehead, down to the chin. Chin. Complete washing. You might need to pour water once, twice, more, but one washing is obligatory. Second washing of the face is recommended. That's it. And when you wash your face, always make the water from up to down, not from down to up, from up to down. That is the way the Prophet taught us. Then, after washing the face, wash your right hand from the elbow down to the end of the fingers. One complete washing of the right hand is obligatory. Second washing of the right hand is recommended. Then go to the left hand, also from the elbow down to the end of the fingers, from up and down. After that, wiping over your head. Then wiping over your feet. Your right hand wiping over your right foot. Your left hand wiping over your left foot. That is all finished.
And say that when you do the masa, does the water need to go to the skull?
No.
Okay.
No, the water does not need to go to the skull, just on the hair of that area, which is the beginning of the head, not to the skull.
Sure. Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina, for explaining. And Sayyidina, likewise in sajda, when people put their hands on the ground, you see that they haven't put their hands flat on the ground. Sometimes you see people, there's a gap between in the palm.
Yeah.
Is that makruh, or because if
No,
your
in
hand
fact,
is
it must. The palm
yeah.
should be on the floor.
flat on the
Flat, yes. If you make it like that, no, you have not done your responsibility. Because it is obligatory to put 7 parts on the ground. 7. The front head, that must be on the sajdagah. More means on what is called turba in Arabic. Sajdagah, piece of the land. This is number 1, which is the main. Then your palm, both of them. 2, 3. Then your knees. 4 and 5. Then the
big toes of the
big toes. The big toes of your feet. The 7. All the 7 during the sajda should be on the ground.
And say that, is it okay to put your arms flat on the ground, or do you need to raise your elbows? So
Your
sometimes,
okay,
yes. So
okay,
can you
okay.
put it flat? Or you need
Here there is a different
okay.
rule between the prayer of the male and the female.
Okay.
For the male, we put our hands on the floor, but we raise our arm.
Okay.
We don't put the arm also on the floor, no. Only the hands.
Okay.
And the arm should be up. While the female, when she puts her hands on the floor, she is recommended to put her arms on the floor as well. So the female puts the whole hands and arms on the floor.
Sure.
The male puts his hands, but arms should be a little bit up, not on the floor. Only in the situation of sajda of shukr, when we finish our salah, it is recommended to perform sajda of shukr, to do sajda and say shukran lillah, shukran. Take the call,
We have
please.
a caller, Sayyidina. Just Assalamu alaikum.
Please.
Yeah, please go ahead. You're live on air. Please go ahead with your question.
Huh?
Yeah, please go ahead with the question. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, go ahead. What's your question?
My question is, last time I asked, but I didn't get a satisfactory reply.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Can you turn down? Yeah,
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله جناب.
brother, can you turn down the volume in the background so we can hear you?
بسم الله please.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Well, I did get the reply from you last time.
Okay. Can you repeat, please?
I tried with our Sunni brothers channels, but I'm not getting the right reply.
Okay, tell me what's the question now.
It was about Sayyidina Aisha. Who killed him?
Who killed her?
Who killed him? Was he killed or he died natural death? But my Sunni channels are not giving me the right answers.
Okay.
I don't know why they are hiding.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. If you can put the phone down and you can listen to the answer.
Okay. Let me tell you something. In fact, I have mentioned in the past that many Sunni sources have mentioned that Aisha, daughter of Abu Bakr, was killed by Muawiyah. Okay? The evidence is in many books. My brother, there is a paper written recently by a Sunni scholar in the University of Qatar by a Sunni by the name of Dr. Muhammad al-Musfir. Dr. Muhammad al-Musfir, he brought from Sunni books lot of supporting evidence that Aisha was killed by Muawiyah, because Muawiyah killed her brother Abdul Rahman. Why? Because Abdul Rahman objected on Muawiyah when Muawiyah wanted to appoint his son Yazid as crown prince, because in Islam we never had crown prince at all. You can find also the evidence in the book of Al-Hakim al-Nisaburi, also in the book of Muhammad ibn Sa'd, also in the books of Ibn Kathir. So, if you want to write down, in Al-Mustadrak by Al-Hakim al-Nisaburi, in the book which is called Al-Bidayah wal-Nihaya by Ibn Kathir, volume 8, page 96, in the Mustadrak by Hakim al-Nisaburi, volume 8, page 123, in the book which is called Tahdhib al-Kamal, volume 35, page 235, so these are some of the Sunni references that Aisha was killed by Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Then a question regarding...
No, but let me finish the Sajda Shukr.
Yes, please, go ahead, yes.
We say that it is recommended after every salah. to do sajda of shukr, thanking Allah who granted us the blessings of performing salah, namaz. Minimum we say in the sajda, shukran lillah 3 times. Shukran lillah, shukran lillah, shukran lillah. We can repeat it 7 times, 40 times, 100 times.
Sure.
Take the call, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
I want to speak to Syed now.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please. Bismillah. Bismillah, please.
Hello?
Bismillah, please.
Just now you answered me your things about Muawiyah killed Sayyidina Aisha, but the thing is this, then why my people are saying radiyallahu all the time?
But you can ask them, brother. You don't ask me. I don't say that. I don't say
No, but I'm not getting the answer from them.
I mean, this question should be addressed to them, not to me. I know
They
that.
are saying this is all wrong story, that's what they are saying.
Anyway, of course, you cannot say radiyallahu anhu for the victim and for the criminal, because many of them, when they mention Imam Ali alayhi salam, they say karram Allah wajh radiyallahu anhu. Okay, and when you mention Muawiyah, they say also radiyallahu anhu. How come? How come radiyallahu anhu for both? Muawiyah wanted to kill Amir al-Mu'mineen. And Amir al-Mu'mineen also in the battle of Siffin was fighting, and he wanted to kill Muawiyah as well. You cannot take both of them as radiyallahu anhu, because in Quran Allah says that what is after right but wrong, either right or wrong. You cannot take 2 enemies, both of them right. You cannot. Muawiyah was a man, the person who cursed Imam Ali on the pulpits for a number of years. Muawiyah was a man who killed Ammar bin Yasir. Muawiyah was a man who killed many Sahaba. You see, one of our respected ulama, he said that he was traveling somewhere, and then a person saw him with the amama, told him, "Oh, you are Rafizi." He said, "So, I'm follower of Ahlebait." He said, No. You speak bad about the Sahaba. So that alim said that, I want to ask you, number one, we don't speak bad about Sahaba. We speak bad about the bad people. Sahaba had pious people we love and respect. And some munafiqeen also were involved in this title, especially after the life of the Prophet. But he said, I want to ask you, which is more dangerous? Blaming some Sahaba or killing some Sahaba? Blaming is worse, or killing Sahaba? He said, of course, killing is more dangerous. He said, I told him, Muawiyah, who killed many Sahaba and cursed Imam Ali, who is the best of all Muslims after the Prophet, better than all the Sahaba. Still you tell about him, radiyallahu anhu. And we didn't kill any Sahabi. And we don't say bad about all Sahaba, but we say bad people are bad. Those who disobey the Prophet. And you tell us that you are kafir? Where is the justice here? When the Sahaba themselves, they cursed one another. Aisha, daughter of Abu Bakr. Look at the books of history, including Tarikh al-Tabari and other books. Aisha went to Uthman ibn Affan and demanded money from him. He told her, why? You ask for money? He had already given her a lot of money. She wanted more. She said, I want my share in the inheritance of the Prophet, because you have taken the house of the Prophet inside the masjid. So I have my share in that house. Uthman told her, because Aisha came along with Hafsa. Aisha, daughter of Abu Bakr. Hafsa, daughter of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Uthman was angry on them and told them, didn't you and she, both of you, didn't you come and give witness that you heard the Prophet saying that prophets leave no inheritance, just to deprive Fatima from her right in her inheritance? And now you are asking for your inheritance? Go out! اخرجا عني! Go out! No inheritance for you at all. Immediately she came out from the place of Uthman and she shouted, اقتلوا نعثلا! Kill Uthman! She gave him nickname of a Jewish person in Medina by the name of Na'thal. She gave the name of Jewish man to Uthman. اقتلوا نعثلا فقد كفر. Kill Uthman. He became a kafir. So, when Aisha speaks about Uthman in this way, so they are not kafirs because they accused one another and blamed one another. They are human beings. They are not infallibles. But how come you blame us just because we say that anyone who disobeyed Allah and disobeyed the Prophet is responsible? We follow and we love and we respect any Sahaba who obeyed Allah and obeyed the Prophet all along their life, not those who changed.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. So if you can just adjust your mic, if you just, before I go into the other question. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Say that what are the different types of ghiba that some of them, if performed, are not prohibited? If you could please shed some light on this, please.
I have not finished my point of Sajda Shukr.
Sajda, please go ahead, yes.
You know, Sajda Shukr is not only after every namaz. Of course, it is very important to do Sajda of Shukr after namaz. We have got a narration narrated by a scholar who accompanied Imam Riza alayhi salam when Imam Riza traveled from Medina to Khurasan. It was a long journey, and the person who was accompanying him, he narrated what Imam used to do from morning till night in the travel. He narrated that Imam Riza alayhi salam used to do Sajda Shukr after Zuhr namaz and say 100 times, Shukran lillah, Shukran lillah, Shukran lillah. And after Asr namaz, he used to do Sajda Shukr and repeat 100 times, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah, Hamdan lillah. So, it is highly recommended after namaz to do sajda and thank Allah with shukran, with hamdan, with ashukrullah, with shukran, 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 or hamdan, or any wording for thanking Allah for His bounties.
MashaAllah.
Okay, the question is?
Yeah, the question was regarding saying that the different types of ghiba. Basically, what are the different types that some of them, if you perform, are not prohibited.
Okay. Ghiba, backbiting, ghibat, backbiting. Backbiting was mentioned in many hadiths. Backbiting is one of the major sins in Islam. The hadith says, أَرَأَيْتُمْ مَا الْغِيبَةِ. The Prophet is telling the people, do you know what is ghibat? They said, Allahu wa rasuluhu a'lam. Allah and His Messenger know. Means people don't know. He said, Al-ghibatu, ghibat, backbiting, is ذكر أخيك بما يكره. To mention your brother in any matter or anything or any behavior or any saying which he does not like. Then they ask him, what if I mention what is really in him? The Prophet replied, إن كان فيه فقد غتبته وإن لم يكن فيه فقد بهته. If you mention what is really in him, you have committed the ghibat. But if you mention something which is not in him, you have put allegation on him, and allegation is more dangerous than ghibat. So, ghibat must be avoided. Now, when ghibat becomes allowed, ghibat becomes allowed when you mention a sinner who is committing his specific sin in public. Say, for example, a person who drinks alcohol in public. He buys alcohol and he takes with him the bottle of alcohol in front of people, going from the market home, and people see him. So he is committing the sinful act openly. A person who does business of haram openly, like pork, non-halal meat, cheating, usury, openly, in public. He does not hide. If a person commits a sin but hides, we are not allowed to disclose his sin because he is hiding. But when he commits the sin openly, then mentioning it is not a sinful act. Number two, if a person is doing injustice on you and you mention your suffering to people to help you to get back your right, and mention that Mr. So-and-so is doing the justice against me, that is not haram because you are a victim of his injustice.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, as you know, on recent news, there's a virus like the coronavirus that is sort of very apparent on the news going around. What can be done? What is it to be done to avoid such a virus? Are there any Islamic teachings on this?
Yes, we have got many narrations about similar situations. We have got a narration that in Mecca, a dangerous epidemic was in Mecca. And people, one mu'min from Mecca wrote to the infallible Imam, Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam, what to do. Imam replied him, Kul tuffah, eat apple. Apple. We have got other narrations. Imam says, if people know what is in the apples, they will not use for health, but only apples. Another narration. if people know what is in apples, they will leave medicines aside and only eat apples. So apples, that's number one. Number two, reciting Quranic verses to protect themselves and their families, especially Ayatul Kursi and Surah Falaq and Surah Nas. In fact, when you go out from your home, you know, when you go out, you mix with people. Many people get infected because of that. Going out, you know this narration from Abu Hamza al-Thimali. He said, I went with my Imam, Zayn al-Abidin, alayhi salam. So, when I went, I heard him saying 3 sentences. Bismillah, Amantu billah, Tawakkaltu ala Allah. Very simple. Bismillah, if you want to write it down, see? Bismillah, Amantu billah, Tawakkaltu ala Allah. I asked my Imam, what is the benefit of what you said? Please take it.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brother, please go ahead with the question.
Yes, assalamu alaikum to Syed as well.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, Syed, I've got a few questions here. The first one is basically related to the incident where the Prophet ﷺ, when the first word, obviously, Iqra came down, and he obviously got scared, and he obviously ran away to Khadija, sallallahu alayhi. According to the Sunni narration, the Salafis tend to obviously push this narration out to say that the Prophet ﷺ obviously the first time when he saw the angel, he got scared, so he didn't actually know he was a prophet. So my question is, was a prophet from the beginning? If so, when he saw an angel, would he be scared? This is according to obviously the Sunni narration. And if the Syed can just give some narrations regarding this from the Sunni narrations as well as the Shias as well, to prove that Prophet ﷺ was a prophet right from the beginning. Got another question which relates to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, where Imam Hussain alayhi salam was poisoned. One of the Salafist scholars I heard said that while Imam Hussain, when he was in discussion with Imam Hussain alayhi salam, when he was poisoned, he didn't actually know who the killer was when Imam Hussain asked him that question. And also, just got one more question.
Yeah. Yes,
go ahead, please.
Yeah, just last question, the Salafist scholars obviously say that the story regarding Imam Hussain being poisoned, that's made up by the Shias. If the Imam knew who was the killer was, he should have applied the had, i.e. the Sharia. The Salafis say obviously this wasn't applied, and according to that logic, this is obviously a sin. So that means the Imams obviously committed a sin. Astaghfirullah.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much for your questions, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the first one regarding the Iqra and the Prophet was scared.
Number one, my brother, this story of the Prophet being scared from the angel, and the Prophet was shivering and not knowing what is going on, and going to his wife Khadija, and Khadija taking him to her relative Waraqah bin Nawfal. This is a fabricated story. Simply, it is one of the well-known stories, but go through it, you will see, as the scholars say, that it is a fabricated story, fabricated during the time of Bani Umayyah, who wanted to bring down the status of the prophet. How come you imagine a prophet scared, shivering, not knowing that he is a prophet? And going to whom? To non-Muslim, because Waraqah bin Nawfal was non-Muslim. He was Christian. And Waraqah bin Nawfal gives him the news that no, don't be frightened, you are the prophet. How can you imagine this story? The narrators are liars. The content of the story is against Quran. The content itself is against Quran. So the story is completely baseless, and it is not permissible for any Muslim to accuse the Prophet of being unaware, ignorant, not knowing what is going on, not knowing the angel Jibreel when Jibreel came to him, feeling scared. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. Allah in Quran says about any believer, ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. The servants of Allah have no fear on them and they never feel sad. Allah in Quran said in another ayah, يا عبادي, O my servants, لا خوف عليكم اليوم ولا أنتم تحزنون. O my servants, no fear on you today and you never feel sad. When believers don't have fear, you accuse the Prophet himself to be frightened. So the story is baseless, completely baseless. Okay, regarding the matter of Imam Hussain and who killed him. In fact, the enemies of Ahlebait try to make their leaders away from their crimes. Even the killers of Imam Hussain in Karbala, they are trying to say that Yazid didn't kill him. Yazid didn't order killing Imam Hussain. Let them say what they say, but we have got facts. Their doubts cannot stand in front of the facts of history. Here in front of me, the crime of Muawiyah in killing Imam Hassan alayhi salam is being recorded in the history in many important Sunni books. Take some of them. The famous book which is called Al-Wafi bil-Wafayat, Sunni book, Al-Wafi bil-Wafayat by Safadi. He narrated that Muawiyah sent money to Ju'da bint al-Ash'ath to kill Imam Hussain by poison. This is in Al-Wafi bil-Wafayat. Another Sunni alim called Al-Maqrizi in Imta' al-Asma'. Also he mentioned that Muawiyah sent money to Ju'da, one of the wives of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, to kill him by poison. Al-Manawi in Fayd al-Qadir also mentioned the same fact. And many other Sunni books. At-Tabari mentioned that. Ibn al-Kalbi mentioned that. عامر الشعبي, قتادة bin Du'ama, Abu Bakr ibn Hafs, as it is narrated by Ibn Hajar al-Haytami in As-Sawa'iq, Sibt ibn al-Jawzi in his book Tadhkirat al-Khawas, Al-Baladhuri in Ansab al-Ashraf, and many, lot of Sunni big scholars. The list in front of me has got 21 leading Sunni scholars. All have mentioned that Muawiyah was the man who sent money and the poison to Ju'da to kill Imam Hassan by poison.
Sayyidina, if we can finish off going back to the Bismillah, Amantu Billah, Tawakkal.
Yeah, we said Bismillah, Amantu Billah, Tawakkaltu ala Allah. If you say this while going out from your house, anytime, whether now, in the time of the epidemic, or anytime, the angels will tell you, when you say Bismillah, they will protect you. Amantu Billah, they will look after you. Tawakkaltu ala Allah, they will say you are being protected. So, Bismillah, Amantu Billah, Tawakkaltu ala Allah, whenever you leave your home. And also, don't forget, when you leave home, to recite Ayat al-Kursi. Because the hadith says that Ayat al-Kursi is one of the greatest verses in Quran. Anyone who recites Ayat al-Kursi while going out from his house will be guaranteed protection by Allah till he comes back safe. And anyone who recites Ayat al-Kursi after obligatory salah will be so near to the paradise that nothing is between him and paradise but only death.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Dear viewers, we have run out of time. Inshallah, do join us same time next week where our Islamic scholar, Sayyid Muhammad Musawi, will answer your questions. Inshallah, next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi